We continue our coverage previewing the race for California State Controller now. Yesterday, our political reporter Darrielle Fair sat down with Herb Morgan, Republican candidate and finance executive. Well, today, Darrielle speaks with Controller Malia Cohen, the incumbent in the race, about what she hopes to accomplish if elected for a second term. This is an important topic and an important position that a lot of people don't think too much about.
That's right, Tony, and I think both candidates are hoping that some of those ballot measures that are going to be in November and the governor's race are going to tone out voters in this election. Tony, California State Controller Malia Cohen and Republican challenger Herb Morgan advanced from the June primary, with Cohen receiving about 56% of the vote and Morgan 38%. Cohen was first elected to serve as the California State Controller back in 2023 and is the first African-American to hold this office.
It's been 20 years since a Republican has won statewide office here in California. I asked the state controller from a management level, how does her office work across the aisle to meet the needs of the state regardless of party affiliation?
One thing that I have found is that both Republicans and Democrats in the state of California want to know where and how the money is being spent. It's really not a partisan issue. Now, I leave it to the governor and the legislators in Sacramento at the Capitol to fight about who's going to get what and how much. That's not my role, and that's not my fight.
California's state controller oversees the state's public finances and agencies conducting audits and paying state government employees. This office is the keeper of lost financial property that is found by the state. The state controller also serves on 70 boards and commissions and leads the franchise tax board. Duties, Cohen says, have contributed to her experience and expertise in money management.
I am a fiduciary. I am making sure that spending is spent appropriately, that the money is going where it is supposed to go. And so one of the things that when I think about my opponent's criticism is he calls into question my experience. 16 years in elected office, chairing the budget, a $23 billion budget in the city and county of San Francisco, sitting on the Prop K tax dollar transportation authority county body in San Francisco as well. The franchise tax board, managing that body.
When I asked Cohen what motivated her to run for a second term and what she hopes to continue or change if elected, she says she plans to continue moving things forward. Among her priorities, modernizing the state's budget systems.
A clear vision that I communicate with my staff and the folks that work with me on the direction that we need to go in. That is how we've been able to turn around 2 reports in 4 years. That's how we've been able to push the onboarding of Fiscal on July 1st. And that's how we're going to continue to make sure that the transition, the payroll modernization project is completed. So I think it was a little over 2 million voters voted for me in June, and we hope to garner that support and a little bit more again in November.
Cohen says that her office will continue to focus on accuracy and transparency, not speed, in overseeing the state's budget to ensure her office is maintaining the quality of data released and putting people first. Cohen says for those interested in learning more about the state budget and where their tax dollars were spent for the fiscal year, they can view the state's annual comprehensive financial report on the state controller's website.
All right. Meeting the candidates. Important stuff, Darrielle. Thank you.